Hey guys, how's it going out there? I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about the manosphere, the MGTOW game, all these kinds of things. I'm a guy who's been in the manosphere, just kind of looking around for quite some time, and I noticed something a little curious lately. I've seen guys on various platforms having sit downs and having discussions, often discussions which evolve into debates with various women. Sometimes it might be OnlyFans content creators, or they might be involved in the adult space, or maybe they're some sort of intellectual talking heads. But whatever the case may be, there have been a lot of folks having these sit downs and having these discussions slash arguments. And the thing that's very confusing to me is why? Why have these conversations? What's to be learned here? I mean, we already understand, if you've been paying attention, we can already see that interactions with women are transactional. It's like a business, and not a particularly pleasant business either, especially if you're talking about within the so-called West, which is a society that's, peaked a long time ago and having a lot of problems now. But at any rate, you got guys having these debates and talking about, well, what do you bring to the table? I don't gotta bring nothing to the table. And the question becomes, at least for me, the question becomes, why in the world are these guys talking to these chicks? What's the point? One of my favorite content creators, he was discussing the concept of red pill rage, which is very real, and it really can consume somebody. He was talking about how guys will make very dismissive and offhanded arguments when having debates or discussions with or about women, and that is unfair, unreasonable, and uncouth to do these things. And that might be fair. He may have a point there, but that doesn't get us around the even more strange thing, which is that they're talking to these women at all, or that they're having these debates with these women at all. It's like we've regressed to some extent. We've regressed to this sit down, negotiation, all of this kinds of stuff. And where is it getting us? What is it doing? What is the point of all of this? What's the point of trying to come back to some negotiating table and having these discussions about communities that we already know are dead, communities that are long gone? This is especially true in my own ethnic community, the Black community. I mean, this is a complete cesspool. The Black community is finished, and the idea of having sit downs and having debates and having arguments with or about single moms, with or about pookies, etc. It's confusing to me. It all seems very pointless. It's just like, go your own way, do what you're gonna do. And to my mind, dating, marriage, prostitution, I mean, these things are all very closely linked. They're not necessarily the same thing. They're all closely interrelated because they're all transactions in which a guy is exchanging his resources for access to a woman's affection. That might be sexual, might be otherwise, but it's all pay for play. It's all transactions. So, unless you're trying to have a kid and pass down your genetics, what would be the point of doing any of that? Dating, long-term relationship, cohabitation, marriage. It's so strange to hear people even talking about this stuff because we already know the whole thing is in women's favor. The gynocentrism is at an all-time high, and even if it wasn't all in women's favor, the whole thing is transactional anyway. So, what are we trying to do here? I guess that's where I'm at. I don't get it anymore. Like, whatever happened to the days of the thinking ape? Whatever happened to the days of Stardust? Barbarossa, Razor Blade Camp. Whatever happened to the days of law, life after women? Just, there comes a time where you gotta take a look at the environment, take a look at the playing field, survey your surroundings, and just realize that some fights aren't worth the trouble. Some problems can't be resolved. And, when it comes down to the women, when it comes down to the, Chad Thundercocks, the Pookies, and the Tyrones, and Boom Cricket, and all these other little guys that the women like to choose up on and have their various bastard kids by, I say, may the gods watch over, because I sure as hell won't.